Welcome to our
What's up, Flo?
weekly meeting.
Hey Juan, hey Mackenzie, hey Young Flo.
Hey, how's it going? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Awesome. Hey.
Hey everyone.
Hi.
Happy New Year.
Happy New
Happy
Year.
New Year.
Happy New Year's.
My resolution is to not get turned into a paperclip.
My resolution is to make sure that agent finds you.
Perfect. It's the new email. Can you end the human race or not?
Yeah, I know.
My resolution is 1024 times 768.
But
I like that. My resolution's only a 1440p. I gotta step it up.
the real benefit of getting into development was now I get the software developer jokes.
Right.
What it was all about.
I mean, is this a software developer joke? I don't think so, right?
I probably
It's
not. But
yeah.
it has definitely been a thing, or like I can properly gauge my progress on like, oh, I don't get why this is funny when I'm like reading the Docker meme or some shit. A few months later I am. That's how I'm tracking my educational progression.
Oh, you know what we should do? We should start a meme channel where we share memes.
True.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Will be nice.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna turn on recording. And Zane, maybe you also turn on recording just in case.
Yep, I've got it.
Just in double. Okay, great. Very cool. Oh, I turned on the recording. So, welcome everyone. I guess we can get started. And I believe this is Mackenzie's. Is this your first time?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Hi.
Oh, great. Welcome. You want to introduce a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, absolutely happy to. I'm embarrassed to say that those jokes went over my head. I'm not technical enough to.
Oh, it's okay.
It's perfect. The system works.
You've weeded me out already. I'll see myself out. So, bit of background. So, I'm based in Toronto. I'm from the UK originally. I am a founder of a small tech consultancy here in Toronto that kind of interfaces between artificial intelligence and human behavior. So we primarily work with companies that develop products, but we also work with companies that utilize or implement products and essentially help them with whatever their sort of behavioral needs are. Use case being, for example, we worked with a number of hospitals here in Canada, helping them implement some solutions that help using computer vision to identify tumors in oncology patients and then subsequently develop treatment pathways for them. They developed the fantastic technology, and then they found that people weren't using it, and they approached us and said, why are our physicians and our radiologists not using this technology? And so that's where we kind of stepped in. So we kind of work, as I say, that intersection. So I'm not personally technical in the sense that I know some Python and that's about it, but I do the human behavior side of things. And try and keep myself educated as much as I can on the technical.
Oh, welcome to our weekly meeting.
Thank you.
And yeah, I believe we have Brendan and Flo, and I don't know how to say. Is it Yikes
Yeah, you got
What's
it.
your
Like,
what's your real
my
name?
government name? Gross. My government name's Warren.
Okay. So you just want to go by Yikes.
Yeah, it's not a whatever.
Okay.
Whatever comes to your mind. Hey, you works. It's all
Okay.
good.
Hey, you. Okay. And then we have Juan, who have been with us before the New Year's. Welcome back. Great. So I'll go ahead with our first item agenda. I will also share the agenda in this chat. So for people who don't know that there's a little chat icon on the lounge label in the voice channels that I'm going to be pasting this link to. It's open to public. Everyone's feel free to edit if you want to add an agenda item on our agenda today. But it has all the history of like what we talked about. So the first agenda item is last week I created so this is kind of a foundation level update. So for people who might not know, AI Engineer Foundation, the goal that we have is to create kind of a horizontal infrastructure layer so people can rely on us rather than kind of building an individual verticalized solution. That we think that like it's overall better for the industry if we can collaborate with each other more rather than unnecessarily compete. We house projects, especially for projects that are kind of similar to the agent protocol array, which is, as more people develop onto this protocol, there is kind of like network effect, right? Like you, by utilizing this protocol, which is a neutral body and multi-company, we get kind of multiply benefits on top, where like a third a platform like benchmarking platform or marketplace can use this protocol to kind of get connected to agents that are built by multiple companies. So this is kind of our mission, which is we are uplifting best practices and standards for AI engineers through open source software. And then I also kind of highlighted the goals and vision. We want to establish a collaborative global network and promote open source AI and enable ecosystem growth with industry-wide standards and multi-company organization. So I highlighted benefits for donating projects to AI Engineer Foundation, what we're looking for, and then stages of maturity, like how projects progress in our foundation. Right now, we only have Agent Protocol as the main project, and we're kind of looking for more. And this week and next week, I am going to be taking some intro calls on some open source tooling and infrastructure that people are interested in submit to our foundation. So if I have news, I'll follow up next week to share progress there. So that's the first one. And the second one, I want to kind of announce that our community member, Young Flo, is going to be our marketing lead. And we spent some time yesterday kind of talking about our current non-existent marketing effort, but with the help of Young Flo, we are very excited to see our mission statement get reached to more people, and more people should be aware of us and come join us and support us in some ways. And so I will leave the floor to Flo for him to say anything, to say a few words maybe.
Yes, I'm excited, and I can you guys hear me well? Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, so I'm excited to get started, and I think like one of the first things I want to do is just get some of the social media accounts for the foundation like more active and clean them up and like interlink them, so it's easier to find the LinkedIn account or the YouTube account or whatever. But I'm definitely excited, and the other thing I really want to do is like highlight some of the active community members' efforts, like in the AI space. So it's not necessarily just to do with the agent protocol, but like everything. I think like one of the accounts that I'm drawing inspiration from is like Llama Index and also LangChain. And I think a huge part of their success is like the fact that they just highlighted a lot of their community members' efforts. So that's kind of like high on the list for me. So I have some other questions I can ask later in the meeting, but just to keep things moving, that's pretty much all I have to say for now.
Awesome. Yeah. Towards the end, we'll open the floor for questions, and also like just feel free to interrupt me anytime you want to say something.
For sure.
Yeah, sounds great. Thank you, Flo. And next up, so last week we after the meeting, Wilson, Brendan in this case, and I and Zane sat together and we pushed the JavaScript SDK to 1.0.3. So that's exciting, and thanks to the help from Brendan. And then if Brendan wants to talk a little bit about the client generation issue, go ahead.
Sure. Hey, everybody. I guess it's the JavaScript client is kind of spanning two GitHub issues at the moment. But I think the one that is linked there, and the
one
most
that you
recent
commented on yesterday, right?
Yeah, and the most recent comment on there is, I think, the source of truth at the moment. But I'm planning on following the Python client's lead and using the OpenAPI generator in order to take the agent protocol OpenAPI schemas and generate the TypeScript JavaScript client. And then I'd like to make sure that there's a script setup that will automatically update both the Python and TypeScript clients based on any changes that happen in the future to the schemas, as well as add stuff to GitHub Actions to verify that clients are updated to make sure that clients don't get out of sync with the schemas, and also linking to a third GitHub issue. Just make sure that we're validating the schemas themselves. And I don't have an ETA.
Oh, that's great.
On
Thank you
either
for
of those
the
bullet
detailed
points.
comment. It was one. Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask is if there is an ETA for kind of like would you hypothesize, like, is it gonna be a week? Is it gonna be like a month? Like, do you know how
I
much?
could probably get a pull request for summer all of those items by next week's meeting.
Oh, great! Excited for it. Awesome. Thank you, Brendan.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I was reading Yike's comment on it sounds like there is some synergy between Youngflow and Yikes.
That'll be good.
How about that?
You want to talk about it, Yikes?
Well, yeah. Coincidentally, we like always, or like I know Flo. He's I run around to all the like various paper clubs and meetups and whatever. I see Flo around all the time. But yeah, the or like it's like getting my brain moving, I guess, where it's like the people that I am working with to basically do marketing are also specifically doing stuff for agents. So being as this is like the agent protocol, there's probably like some stuff we could do together is where my head's going.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
amazing.
For sure.
Great. Awesome. Since Juan is here, do you want to talk a little bit about the Java efforts that you are thinking about?
Yeah. No, sorry, I couldn't get my mic on. Okay. Well, right now I'm trying to see what framework to choose for the Java SDK, because we have three choices, or that's the one I found, and one is Spring Boot, the other one would be Micronaut, and the last one would be Quarkus. So I have to do some testing, and what I want to do with the SDK is for it to be simple to use, like a plug and play, and well, while two of the frameworks are lightweight, like Micronaut and Quarkus, but there is not so much documentation for them, and it would fail on the easy part. And on the other side, Spring Boot is a little bit heavy, but it is more simple to use. There's more documentation, so that is one of the questions I need to answer. And I schedule a meeting with Siggy for tomorrow in order to see what we can do in order to choose right, because I believe it is like a balance. Do we want to be easy to use but not too light, or do we want it to be light and use light frameworks that have become for Java, that are easy to implement on containers and on serverless environments. So I have to see and to test in each one of the frameworks and see the outputs in order to choose which one.
Great. It might also help to, I don't know too much about the Java world, but it might also help to see who are some of the current agent builders, and kind of see what they are using, and then decide accordingly. But yeah, I don't know if it's relevant to your domain, which is Java.
Yeah. We can take a look. I was looking up some news for the Java side, and so that Azure has a Java component for OpenAI. I haven't had the time to see it, but I will take a look in order to see if it is tied to one of these frameworks, or if it works separately, and see if we can take some of that into the Java agent.
Got it. Yeah, maybe we're taking a look, and feel free to like message any of us for any support you need. Yeah, and I'm glad to hear that you already have a meeting with Ziggy Zhang tomorrow. And Yike's commented saying that there is some new Java release for Vector API. That's interesting.
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I got the news on my email. I believe it's Azure that is having like an SDK for OpenAI built for Java.
Interesting. Well, if people have the link, I'm curious to check it out, because I don't really know the Java world that much, unfortunately. So
Don't worry.
Yeah. Well, lastly, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, another thing I wanted to tell
Mhm.
is I've been having a discussion and on the AI adoption framework, and we were talking about the marketing efforts we are going to do with Flow, and I believe it could be good, like to have a space where the discussion we have here can become like blog post, no, I don't know, or like some kind of way to share with the other people that are not on the Discord community what we are discussing here.
Are you guys familiar with
It will
the
be a
Manifold research group?
The what?
If not, the Manifold research group. If not, it's not particularly important.
No.
They are a generic AI research group. They have a couple of like projects that they're going on. But the interesting thing is that they do like a weekly newsletter that's like here is the weekly Manifold research report as to where things are at, what things are happening, et cetera, et cetera. Could be a good model to copy.
Ooh, good
Yeah,
idea.
would be great.
Maybe we can all work on an agent that does summarizes that summarizes and sends out emails.
I do like the idea though. That's something I was like. It's not the first thing on my list, but definitely want to take the meetings, summarize them, and then have like bullet points almost. So like similar to what Juan is saying about a blog post, but basically just have the meetings in written form. I think would be cool.
Yeah, it's or like obviously there's services that already exist for that, but I wanted to integrate that feature into my bot um, to be able to do it, just like have it sit in the Discord channel and then listen to people. But I feel like I don't know. I have some resources collected. I'll ship it over your way. But they're like if you
Oh,
just want a
great.
prefabbed like transcribe plus make notes. There's a few of those. I think there's even a few open source ones. So see what I can grab for you.
Oh, okay, cool. Would love to see that. Thank you. Awesome. I'm gonna also
Juan,
link
Juan,
these
is that
links
what you
that we.
were getting at, or is like there was something more that you wanted to do there?
Well, it will be like the discussion we have here, but also the ones that are going on the Discord channel, like what people are writing, and we can like I don't know, it would be a good way to make people come to the meetings and to get part of the foundation.
For sure. Yep. Yep. Oh, you have the floor,
Yeah.
Sasha. Sorry.
Oh, no worries. So I mean, so I think like having next time we should have demo slots where people can come share what they're working on. If people here in the audience want to share what you guys are working on, feel free. But this time I messaged Wayne and Dylan, who were actually involved in the beginning creation of Agent Protocol, to kind of demo their new product that they just recently launched, and they unfortunately cannot make it. So if any of you guys want to demo something, this is the time. Or you can demo another like one cool thing that you found. It doesn't need to be your idea. I saw that Yikes shared the small talk.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I have my thing, and then yeah, the small talk thing is what you guys were talking about, where basically the idea is you dump various Discord channels into a model. You have the model summarize it, and then it makes this little newsletter. That's what Swix is doing with like a few different Discords with this thing. And yeah, I wanted to basically like do almost exactly this, plus take the newsletters and then vectorize them for my bot so people can like chat with them, and there can be like a bot that lives in all of the AI Discords that coordinates between all the AI Discords is the dream, basically.
Oh, I like that. Like if you ask it a question, it tells you exactly which Discord you should find. You can find more information about
Yeah, or
it, and
basically,
yeah.
yeah, like the idea would be like, oh, hey Red, what's going on in Skunkworks today? And then she pulls the newsletter of like the last couple of days, and says, oh, they're talking about this, that, and that, and then kind of goes from there.
Oh, that's interesting. I like that.
It's mostly to solve my personal pain point of I am in too many cool AI discords and there's too much stuff to keep track of, and I don't want to have to like bounce between all of them to to figure out what's going on. So I just want like all of it like dumped somewhere, vectorized in a bot, and then I can just like chat with it really quick, figure it out. But yeah, it will be super dope, especially because like the having like the anchor point be the bot is nice because the bot's pretty hackable. So like people could like host their own, or like it can always like whoever's in the community can just like iterate on it and add features and stuff.
Is the bot open source?
Yeah. So she is a version of Redbot Discord bot.
Oh, okay. I've used
and
Redbot
she's
before.
Yeah. So basically, what I want to do is make a couple of cogs for her. There's one that's really good already. So it's by Vertico, and it basically just integrates the Assistance API with the Discord bot, and then also adds like a vector store. So she's already got the ability to memorize stuff. I just need a way to like take discords, dump them to Markdown, and then do command memorize, and then be good to go. But
if you have a link for it, that would be great.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, this is just the main one. I think I have a fork of a cog that's like slightly modified, but mostly everything is baseline red plus a bunch of other cogs.
The use case I was thinking about is more just like if I have let's say I want to chat with the bot and then I have a stable diffusion specific question, and then the bot tells me, oh, you should join this Discord and then go to this comment because it talks exactly about the things that you're talking about. It's kind of like query answering. It does retrieval. And it tells you like even like Discords that you're not in, it tells you like go here. But
yeah, I guess
I don't know.
like in thinking about how to do that, because the advantage so Swixes will run periodically and then just grab everything from the day and then make a summary. And I was thinking like, oh, okay, it'll be good for her to be able to check in on newsletters, but it would be interesting to like do the retrieval QA with sources thing, and like pull the specific messages of what she's looking at, and then can like direct people with like a little link to the Discord. That'd be sick. But I should mention my actual thing that I'm supposed to plug instead of random shit that I'm excited about. We're open sourcing the GPT's store. Basically, is the plan. There's a few of us who are like kind of working on various bits of it and hoping to have it released next Saturday. At which point we will also have a GPT store hackathon. So the idea is, hopefully, if everything goes to plan, for like non-technical people, there'll be like you can just play with the GPTs and maybe some actions and stuff like that. And then for the more technical people, it'll be like, hey, submit a PR on the open source version of the GPT's store so we can make it better than Sam's and laugh because it's funny.
Do you have a link to that one as well? Is that also on GitHub?
It is scattered around a few different places on GitHub, but yeah, I'll drop a couple of links.
Okay. Also, I'd just like to say it's really funny when you mention a project and we write "yikes" next to it.
Sorry.
That's the idea.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yikes!
Which is why I attempted asking you for your government name.
It's just a good one.
Let's see. All right, here I'm just gonna copy paste from my announcement post in my Discord. Bloop. There you go.
So is the GPT store hackathon the same one that Alex is running? Alex Riedman?
Yep.
Great.
Yeah, I'm working with that. They are like, yeah, we were discussing working together in some capacity, and I was like, hey, like I want to build a GPT store because I think it would be funny if we had a marketplace before Sam did. And then it took a little longer, and then they were like, well, it's kind of a big deal. Let's do a hackathon. I was like, okay. Well, I happen to be building an open source version of that, so let's like make a thing of it. So yeah, worked out pretty well.
Great. There was I remember I believe his name is Kyle, but a while back at the Dev Day recap event, someone was kind of pitching for an open GPT store, open GPT store, like open source GPT store. And so maybe if I can like dig up who it is, and I can link you guys up.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Are you building this as a part of a company or individually?
We're doing it individually. Like I am in some capacity probably working with Adam for Agent Ops, but I don't know if that's gonna, or like, I'm not exactly sure how we're structuring that, but I know for like at least so far what I have put together is like a whole bunch of different people with their own companies collaborating on this basically. So I've got
I see.
I got my buddies they run something called Agent Artificial, where they build a lot of like endpoints and whatnot, and then Commune is providing the compute so we can have the same thing on the GPT store where like you don't have to pay for your inference or whatever. And then we tracked down the guy who's working on the assistance API, and then started working on our original or like the storefront part of it while we're helping him out with his thing. So yeah, it's sort of a collab basically.
Agent Artificial. I'll check it out. Cool. Do you have a link for Agent Artificial, or is it very searchable?
Let me grab some links.
They do endpoints, so I guess that's kind of like similar to Agent Protocol, or not really.
Let's see. And then Commune AI. And then I guess I don't know where Lewis keeps his thing here. Those are the actual company websites of the people, and then let me see if Lewis has like a personal website or something.
I'm adding these links into our weekly meeting notes as well.
Hell yeah. Feel free to let people know there's going to be a hackathon. It's going to be great.
Yeah. I commented on Alex's post saying, make it happen.
Hell yeah. It's going to be, I don't know. I'm like, on one hand, yes, it's like a good thing with utility to have, but it's very funny to me that Sam's like, oh yeah, we'll do a marketplace next year. And then I'm like, okay, open source will copy you in a week. Thank you. Also do it better than you.
Yeah, exactly. Excited. Cool. Anyone has any questions? Any feedbacks?
I do for like there's a couple questions I want to ask, but I'm not sure if you guys are done wrapping up like what's on the meeting notes.
Yes, I think the meeting notes is wrapped up.
So I basically just wanted to test out some of the content that I want to start marketing or like putting on the LinkedIn and Twitter accounts for the foundation. And I think probably the highest value one for the people that are here. And I kind of wanted to go around the room individually and ask this question, but I have one that's like maybe a little bit more divisive. But the main question I want to ask is like, what are you like? So let's say Juan, for example. I know you mentioned a couple of things earlier. McKinsey, like you know, you say you're not technical, but like still like are in the AI space. But like, what are you working on right now, and how can we highlight that? Are two of the questions I really want to ask. For you two specifically, and then Wilson's been around for a while, but I'm not sure exactly what he's working on either.
I'll jump in with a response. It's a good question, and congrats on the role. That's cool. For me at the moment, I mean, my participation in this is really just to kind of observe what's going on in the landscape. I do quite a lot of work with people who are building with open source, and so that's kind of a passion of mine, is to keep things open rather than close everything down. So to see the the stuff you're doing here is really interesting for me, and for me it's kind of educational. I'm an observer rather than someone who's able to kind of get into the weeds of it, just because I'm still very much learning myself and trying to get myself as technical as I can. But there's a huge amount to learn before I can really get myself as involved as I'd like. So I don't know how much there is that you can highlight of mine. I'm constantly looking to find people who are talented and motivated, because I've always got projects ongoing, and if I can find people who, it's much better to see people as they work and then hopefully provide some opportunities for people. So that's kind of part of my involvement. And so I don't know if that's like out of the scope, and Sasha, you might say, actually, no, this isn't the right place for that, which is totally, I fully respect that. But if I have opportunities and I see people doing interesting work, then I would love to be able to kind of marry those two things up, if that's kind of acceptable. So if that is acceptable, then that's something that I would always be happy to have kind of showcase as opportunities that I've got going on for work and kind of really interesting projects. But that's probably the limit at the moment.
For sure. No. Thanks for sharing. I appreciate that. Well, what were you gonna say? Is that yikes?
No, I was going to say that's very helpful. Oftentimes, the situation I find myself in is a bunch of talented developers that like have jobs that they don't really like. So if there is a place where people with money want to pay them to do stuff that they enjoy, then I am always like happy to put those people together. So yeah.
For sure. I want to, if I'm not mistaken, something that Swix and the other like founder of the AI engineer event in person. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but like they were talking about putting together a job board specifically. So that, like, that's what that rang a bell as soon as you said that. But I can't remember. I don't know how far they are on that. Or like what. I'll just post some information as I find it. But I appreciate you guys for sharing for sure.
I would love that. Thanks. Yeah, I would, if there's places to share opportunities, then point me in the right direction, because I'm always looking for people who are kind of motivated and excited, and I think some of the projects I do are pretty interesting. I think I'm biased.
Yeah. Okay, I definitely took some notes on like everything you said, and I will keep these in mind as I'm like coming up with the marketing stuff. Yeah, I know for sure you have like the compute that you're trying to essentially give away that you need people to sign up for. So that was one of the top of the things on my list in terms of like, again, just highlighting them on the account, on the foundation account, and just like it could be as simple, like just for more context for everyone, why I'm asking you to share, because it could be as simple as a repost on LinkedIn or a retweet on Twitter, or as complex as like a full write-up on whatever you guys are doing, whether it be a GitHub repo or a tutorial or whatever. I could go and do a write-up and just kind of like highlight those things. So that's what I have in mind for those things when I'm asking you to share. But yeah, is there anything else? And then Juan, I was wondering if you have anything I could highlight.
Yeah, a couple of thoughts. One is, if you're going around and collecting this type of stuff anyway, and we're both kind of doing this, maybe we should have something where we can both just like drop shit off, and then, or maybe start with both, and then as there's more people who are interested in covering the news of the space or whatever, kind of open that up into like a doc for people to drop off cool shit that they're doing or cool shit they found, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. That's a good idea. Yeah. Okay,
Like
I'm
a
thinking like
doc?
off the top of my off the top of my head, I was thinking GitHub repo for like something that's open source that
I used to use a Obsidian
I was
vault.
exactly about to say that. Yep.
Yeah, I love network graphs. So whenever I set up my note taking, I set them up with the Zettelkasten method with tags and categories and all that kind of stuff, and it made the network
A
graph
man
nice
after
and
my
pretty.
own heart. I
Yeah.
love it.
So you can just set that up in a GitHub repository and then open it. And if you don't have Obsidian, then you can just edit the markdown.
nice.
There's an Obsidian Git plugin too.
Ooh.
I'm setting up an Etherpad on my website so people can drop stuff off for that general KB. But yeah, the big Obsidian fan. Yeah.
Yeah,
Very useful.
agreed.
Well, for my part, well, I'm kind of new here, first time in Discord and on a community. And what I want to do is to learn and to be part of this. And that as a work, what I do is I manage an app here in Colombia that helps people get some DMV tramits that are done by private enterprises. So it's like a booking.com, but for those kind of services. All the app is hosted on AWS. So what I'm trying to do right now is kind of see how AI can fit on this app, trying to learn a little bit about the AWS environment for AI, and if I get something, I can share it with you guys. And I'm also doing it with my team here. The first thing that we want to do is to build a customer service agent for the scheduling of the appointments for each pyramid.
Oh, that's pretty
The
cool.
Did
So,
you guys
essentially,
units.
what would help you is like us basically sharing cool AI stuff that you could integrate with your work projects. It's kind of what it sounds like too.
Yeah,
Awesome.
right now, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'll mention I have some friends who are trying to like get started with a business of like B2B consulting on like, hey, I'm a small business. I like have heard about the AI thing. I'm not exactly sure where to go. And to kind of like do an overview of what you've got, where you should put AI, where you shouldn't put AI, et cetera, et cetera. I will drop off a invite to their server over in the chat.
Nice. Um. Oh, yeah. I was just about to ask what's the link. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I said booking.com, but for Colombia is what I had in my notes. So I appreciate the link. And then because we're coming up on an hour, I kind of wanted to keep it moving from everything else. But Zane, did you have anything that like what are you working on? What can we highlight?
As far as the agent protocol is concerned,
Yeah, or anything outside, because like everybody else is sharing stuff outside of the foundation.
oh well, outside of the foundation, I'm working on my own agent. Nothing too major, but it's a Rust-based agent with network graphs because I like them.
Oh, he's a graph guy.
I see.
A fellow graph nerd. I see. I see. And
Network.
Rust.
Yeah. Well, and it
Gee
just got me
whiz.
thinking, like you were talking about summarizing Discord posts, and I had that thought before of it would be really cool if we could automatically create issues based on conversations in the chat or something along those lines. But even more than that, if information was being posted by somebody, it'd be cool to keep track of that person, Discord user, so that if we ever had a question, we could get directed to somebody that is, oh, this person is an expert in this thing, or something like that. That'd be really neat. But
There's that red bot that I linked earlier, the assistance cog, has a feature called tutors. So
people can
the
opt in.
yeah, well, people can be authorized. So they're like, as I mentioned, she has a vector store, so she can remember stuff. But you have to the server owner has to authorize someone as a tutor in order for them to say, "Hey, bot, remember this," outside of the bot just deciding to remember something. So if that were to come with sources, I'm not sure that it does right now, but I imagine it wouldn't be too tough to implement. Then that's what you have, right? You have a like person that is providing useful information to a Discord bot, and then a way to get in touch with that person.
Yeah, be cool.
That sounds extremely interesting, especially like the whole like having a question directed to a person as opposed to just like a general post or a channel or whatever. So that's pretty cool.
One of my longer dreams was to have sort of a hacker space-esque environment that was either live streamed or every like chat was live streamed so that the information shared was cataloged in a way and have it spanning multiple, fields, I guess, so that a auto mechanic could teach some rare information about a specific thing that gets cataloged and stuff like that. So that's kind of the more the focus of where I'm going with my agents, is sort of data collection and management.
I also wanted to do that, so I started doing it. There's a link over on the in the chat. General Hackerspace is the Discord, and then right now it's just like me streaming and like inviting random people to show off their cool thing, and there's occasionally, there's Twitch recordings of Twitch stuff. But yeah, it's the idea is like general Hackerspace, basically exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's cool. We'll have to get together on some stuff then.
For sure, man. I agree.
I would say last but not least, Sasha, like what are you working on and how can we highlight that?
So I have okay, this is not tech related, but I have a TikTok channel where I make funny content.
Really?
And yeah. And I mostly make, it's not, I don't really have a following. I mostly make it for myself because it's funny and I enjoy it. And
Stop it.
and okay, so outside of that, I am working on an agent as well. I'm doing some contracting with this company called Llama Index, in which we're doing some agent esque retrieval task over a large amount of data. And so I'm building an agent that does kind of like scroll up, scroll down, and link clicking to answer vague questions and like big research questions. And so yeah, so it's like a retrieval system that is agent driven. And and also as a part of it, building a front end to it. But it's very early. I am like only like in my third week, and I'm doing like 2 days a week with them. So so that's how, like, where I'm spending time. And separately, I'm also building a journaling app. The goal is to kind of bring inner peace to people and have people kind of do self-reflection more. And this idea was kind of like a hackathon winner last year at Tools for Thought. And so I'm just like taking the idea further by developing it into kind of like a more broader product. It's almost ready. It's just hard to, I have this thing where like it's hard to release because there's always more things to do, but the most of the feature is there. And yeah, it's built completely on Streamlit. I'm actually like a little bit of me is thinking about open sourcing it because I think journaling is so personal. Like people may want to use their own database. And I also would love some like open source engagement. And so yeah, I'm like debating there.
1,000,000% do it.
Setting between
Yeah.
OSS and that's very, very, very interesting. Thank you for sharing as well for all you guys. I truly appreciate it. I'm taking a bunch of notes. Like this gives me a good bed of content, so I can kind of like know what to focus on as I'm like marketing. And obviously, like not directly marketing like your specific stuff, but like general ideas that like would be nice to share. Because you guys are the people that make up the foundation right now. You know what I mean? So whatever you guys are interested in, also I think is super important. Oh, I'm adding that to the notes. On to Jim. Okay. Because we are like right up on an hour. The question I would like to add, like, there's two things that I think, like I was interested in posting, and I already asked this question to Sasha and Zane, but what agents do you use on a weekly basis right now? And that's a question for everybody. If you guys have any input.
On a weekly basis, I wouldn't consider it an agent, but I am using the Ollama tool to talk to LLMs. I'm not really using any agents themselves at the moment. I'm just building an agent. That's my end.
LLMs, nice. Local LLMs, big part of my I love those. So
Yeah.
I'm down. Anyone else using agents on a weekly basis? And I have a follow-up question to this because very interested.
I use this thing called Harper AI. It's like tries to be an all-in-one, so it just sits in your browser. It allows you to kind of converse with any website or any document that you've got open. You can automate actions through it. Yeah, I try and like streamline my stack as much as possible, and so because this does more than one thing, I use it quite frequently. But that's one of the few things I'm using at the moment.
Is it this one that I just
Yeah.
linked? Harpa.ai?
Yeah,
Okay.
I use it too. I love it.
yeah, it's good.
That's
Okay.
nice. Okay, that's awesome actually, because like that's the first time I've heard of like like I actually used to use something very similar to this back in the day. That was like a Chrome extension, but I had not like in years I hadn't looked into anything that does like an extension like this. So that's really cool. Like automation copilot is what they named it.
Yeah.
Uh, um. Okay. Anyone else use agents, AI agents on a weekly basis? Something you use fairly often.
Yeah, let's see. Well, yeah, so I don't know which of these qualify as agents, but I'll just kind of go over my main squeezes. Find.com, P-H-I-N-D, Perplexity AI, using Metaphor.systems a lot more lately. I use Weaviate's Verba, although it broke recently, which I was upset about because for quite a while I'd been looking for something that would read documentation on libraries that I'm not familiar with how they work or frameworks that I don't really know how to use for me, and then kind of help me out as I'm kind of muddling my way through them. And Verba was fantastic for this because it's kind of an all-in-one kind of RAG thing. It can pull straight from GitHub, et cetera, et cetera. And it's open source and free and self-hostable, which is always a good thing. Let's see. Definitely Cursor for coding, and also Aider for coding as well. And then on chat.openai, I use Grimoire a lot if I'm scaffolding. Um,
What do you mean by scaffolding?
um, yeah, so my workflow is kind of like uh, where basically like if I have a thing that I want to build, usually I'll go on chat.openai, and depending on if I'm at the desk, then I'll open up Grimoire. If I'm not at the desk, then I will open up the Replit mobile app and agi.zip. And then I'll have a conversation with that to sketch out like a basic skeleton of like the kind of application that I want to build. So it's more or less like quote unquote, to steal a thing from small developer, it's the create React app for whatever it is that I'm planning on building. And then when I've kind of got that scaffolded out, I'll take that over to the desk. I'll start commenting it out in Aider, then have Aider work through the code base with me to get it more lined up. And then if I am at the desk actively, I'll use GPT Engineer to start me off, or it was GPT Engineer previously. Now it's more, or like I'm experimenting with GPT Pilot. And then I'm also experimenting with a VS Code plugin called Draw My UI, which is what it sounds like. Basically, you tell it what framework you're using, you draw the component, and it'll generate the component for you. And then I think those are the ones that come immediately to mind. So any others are probably not in the weekly category.
I see. And I just so I found Metaphor Systems, Grimoire, Verba was linked. Yep. I'm gonna try and link like add all these to the
Yeah,
chat. And then the
Grimoire and AGI Zip and like a bunch of other ones are all found there. It's Nick Dobos on Twitter. He does really good work.
got it. Cool. Because my follow-up question is like, can you actually build something that you aren't actively using? And like when I look around and when I ask some of the other people, I feel like mostly everyone's using large language models and not necessarily agents. I don't know if that's like an accurate assessment, but that's kind of like the feeling that I got is that like agents are like a huge part of what people talk about but aren't necessarily using. Let me see. Okay, I think. Oh, you already linked to Verba.
I think it's because
Don't-
agents are sort of the next step, and they're not very well implemented yet for the most part. Like,
Yep.
there's still a lot of space to go, but very soon, if you use Copilot, that's probably the closest thing to a proper agent that the average person might use. You know,
Right.
including the Microsoft Office Copilot that they got going on now. I think.
Yes. I think that, and then the OpenAI thing you were telling me about yesterday, the assistants is like, I was like, okay, these are great for me to focus on, anyways.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. I like This is good. This is good. It gives me, because like I don't know like what the response to that question would be, but I do think it's like a super interesting thing to. But also like I think that's a part of the larger conversation, that is, what is an agent? Because we have not even really actually defined that in my
It's so
opinion.
hard to
Like,
define it. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
It's
So,
also the big challenge is how do you explain it to somebody who's not in this space? The
yep,
best I've seen so far is virtual employees, but that's still not great.
yep.
Or I actually affectionately refer to them as my robot interns that are on acid sometimes, and I have to keep track of whether they're hallucinating or not.
Uh, but I just think it's hard to build on top of that if you're not like down dirty and like actually using the broken like agents that we have now. Like, I don't know. But again, part of a larger conversation, and I'll just like post stuff in the for anyone that's interested. Like, there's a channel called AIEF Marketing, and in there I'll probably be posting like any ideas that I have for tweets or LinkedIn posts or whatever, and you guys can kind of like help me out there, because I'll definitely need the help. So that's all I had, because we're right at like an hour. So, but I appreciate all the input. I really appreciate you guys for like helping with the input.
No problem.
Thank you. Yeah. This is great because we get to hear what each of us are curious about and things we're excited about and what we're working on. So thank you for facilitating. That's it. Let us know. Message me, message the group for anything that you find interesting, and have a good week, I guess.
Cheers. Thanks, everybody. It was
Good
fun.
chatting with you.
Yep.
Yay.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for coming.
Have a good
Thanks.
week.
Bye.
See you tomorrow.
Thanks.
You
Oh,
too.
Bye bye.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.